Hi, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. Surprise, surprise. I thought I'd come on and, uh, by popular demand, a couple of people asked if I would come on and do a little show and tell for the Beatles Get Back book, which I just picked up today. I got lucky and was able to reserve a copy of the Target edition of Get Back, and I need to give a shout out to Mitch Axelrod, who gave me the uh, the heads up that and I'm sure many of you know this already, that Target is running behind in their orders, and so that if you wanted to, you could reserve a book in store if if they had them and could pick them up today. And so I decided, what the heck, give it a try, and got lucky and managed to get a book. And so I thought I'd just come on here and give you guys a little idea of what is in the book. And sorry for the boring background, but I had to do this so that I could really show you the contents of the book. Otherwise, if I had my usual fun background, it would just dissolve. I wouldn't really be able to show you the book. So I just thought I better do it this way. So sorry for the boring background. Um, Yes, hello, Tom. Yeah, really. Thanks to Mitch Axelrod, I was able to quickly change my order and head it over. Now, I know a number of people have said that their targets are already sold out. So, I recommend, if you're thinking of doing this, I mean, definitely search all the targets around you. But, obviously, if you can't get it right away, it's, not the biggest deal in the world. You will get it, one way or another. But I will say this, if you can get the Target version, I really have to say I'm very pleased about it, pleased with it, with those extra lobby cards, which I'll show you in a minute. It's worth it. It's well worth the little extra effort to pick it up or to change the order around. It's a nice keepsake. It's, not absolutely necessary, obviously, but they're really nice, much nicer, in fact, than I expected. So I thought I'd just show you a little bit of what the book is like, show you those lobby cards, and just give you an overall just an overview of what the book is like, for those of you who maybe haven't received it yet. And before I get to that, though, and wait for a few more people to join us, I just want to show you a couple of other things that I was sent recently. First of all, I got this in the mail, which I'm really excited to dig into, and what good timing, right? Latest in the excuse me, 33 and a third series, which is a really good series by Steve Matteo. This is, of course, about Let It Be. So I'm really curious to dig into this. And so I want to thank Steve's publisher for sending this to me. Really looking forward to it. Um, and so that's one thing. And then I want to thank my friend Susan Ryan. Oh, good. More people are joining in. Hello, everybody. I'm just showing a couple of things before I get to get back. I just thought I'd wait for more people to tune in before I get to it. I just have to show you. This is so fun. Um, Yep. Hey, absolutely. Hi, Hudson. Yeah, he is a great guy. Absolutely. Um, my friend and many of yours, Susan Ryan, sent me this. She and a bunch of friends went to, I think it was Pennsylvania, and went antiquing. And she found this little gem. This is a Scholastic book, and from 1972, and it's just a little fun fan book about the Jackson Five, and it's really neat. It's just kind of a it's definitely a fluff kind of piece about the history of the group and everything, but it's really fun to have. Lots of fun pictures, and definitely written for a younger audience, but kind of a really nice souvenir to have. So got a couple of really cool things in the mail along with the uh, the great Get Back books. So just a fun thing to have for the collection. There's little Michael there. So yeah, this is from '72, so certainly the height of their popularity, and as I said, a scholastic publication. So I'm sure many of you remember school fairs, book fairs, where you could order all different kinds of books, and there were books like this. They weren't all educational, and so she found this at an antique store and picked it up for me. So thank you, Susan. This is a great addition to the collection. A lot of fun. So, okay, we've got enough tuning in, and I'm sure more will be joining. So, let me give you a little tour of the book. I will also be cross posting this to the Talk More Talk Facebook page and our YouTube channel. So you can check out more of this. So, I took it out, obviously out of the cellophane wrapper, but it does come with a hype sticker, which, as we all know, Tom Hunyadi loves, and and it says Target Edition on it. It then came wrapped with this kind of wraparound thing right here. Kind of a further hype thing with here's the picture, the four of them there. Sorry for the glare. Yep, uh-huh. I know, Tom. So yeah, I know. Get rid of it. Yep, I know. So here's the back. That's the back of the this wraparound. Okay, which is basically just further, sort of hyping the book and about the movie itself in a way too. The time has come to present the real story. You can see the real hyping here. Um, so this is it. Um, and then inside, you've got start here. Got the contributors, which I think it's really nice that they mention Linda here as a contributor. I'm sorry about this glare. That's what you get for glossy paper. But they mention Linda as a main contributor, which I think is really nice to do because they do use a lot of her pictures. So why wouldn't they mention her as a contributor? So I think that's extremely nice. Okay, we go over here and mention, let's see, sorry, it's hard to kind of look. Okay, Peter Jackson is mentioned, and he wrote a foreword for the book. And then we also have an introduction from, and I'm sure I'm massacring this pronunciation, Hannah Qureshi. And then John Harris is mentioned here, and he essentially edited the transcripts that are in this book. And I'm going to get to that in just a second. So that's the wraparound that, slides off the book. Okay. Let me look at comments here. Yep. Yeah, I agree. Um, yeah. And Tom Brennan. Yeah, I've put them aside as well. So here we go. Now I'm sure all of you have seen the cover. This is a very hefty book. It really is. It's really really sturdy. I mean, it's like a coffee table quality book, and certainly for what they charge, it should be. But it's nicely done, nicely embossed here. Um, just beautifully done. And get the inside here. So again, even in the cover page, which I think is again really nice, they prominently mention Linda. And again, they use a lot of her photos, so I think that's only fitting that they give her a lot of credit, and they mention, obviously also appropriately, Ethan Russell, who took so many of the pictures of these sessions. And boy, are there pictures. Hi, Tony. Good to see you. Boy, do they have pictures. So the way that they have organized this, first of all, here's just one example. I'm sorry about the glare of, they have all kinds of it gets better than this. This is just one example. Um, this is how they've organized it, and I think it's interesting that they've done it almost like a play. Um, like the dramatis personae, they name the Beatles and Mal and Linda and Heather and Yoko and somebody as almost like a cast in a play. And then they've organized as Act One in Twickenham, Act Two, Apple Studios, Act Three, the Rooftop, and then the afterward of what happened, after the sessions concluded. So that's how it's organized. So very interesting to do it in that way. Tony, let me flip to the back. It is about 240 pages, so it's a good amount. Very good amount. They're very generous. So the pictures are in black and white and color. I'm sorry to these darn glossy pages are causing a glare there, but there's a lot in black and white and color. Um, so there is no lack of shots here. You get long shots like this, and then you get plenty of close-ups. Really nice stuff. And then, as I mentioned, you get the forward from Peter Jackson. So that's nice to have. I'm trying to keep up with. Oh yeah, Tom Heather Mills. Yeah, that's the character. That's what they're talking about. Yes, Heather. Yes, it is Heather Eastman. Um, and then you get nice reproductions of. Let me get back there. Sorry, it's hard to see. Like the call sheets. So it isn't all just pictures. They have some, reproductions of this kind of stuff in here, which is nice. Um, so, it's very thorough. Very, very thorough. Hi, John. It really is nice. It really is. And, they have plenty of background on. Let me show you. I'm just flipping to, because then they give a background about the whole. Okay, this is what I was talking about before they get into the main story, the dramatis personae. So, of course, you've got John, Paul, George, and Ringo. So, the main cast. And then you've got all the other people, which is a lot. You, of course, Billy Preston. There's lots of Billy in here. George Martin, Michael Lindsay Hogg, Glenn Johns, Dennis O'Dell. You've got, of course, Mal. You've got Linda. There's Heather. Neil Aspinall. I mean, they're very thorough. So, and yeah, let me go to the bottom here. This is a heavy book, guys. Kevin Harrington. Peter Sellers makes a brief appearance at one point. I mean, they are really thorough. And again, it's just interesting how they make it like a cast, in this play. Hey, plastic. Yeah, this is the Target edition. Okay, so I'm not going to go through every single page, of course, but I just want to show you how this is laid out. Let me back up here. So Act 1, Twickenham Studios. So this is, first part of the book where they go through. Now, the way this works is that basically these are excerpts of transcripts from all the sessions. Not all the transcripts, but they go day by day. They show pictures, and then they have, along with the pictures, here's a good example. So, like, okay, let's do it this way. So, sorry, this is such a heavy book. It's hard to do this. All right, so here's the first day, Thursday, January 2nd, 1969. And there's some nice photos here. You see, like, there's the board there, some individual shots. There's some more there with some of the crew. And then you get, sorry, I'm having to hold this way up. There we go. See, you can see their transcripts. That's how the book is laid out. You get just the excerpts from transcripts from each day. And I'll tell you guys, it is thorough. They even include lunch orders. I mean, they get into everything here. And some of these, okay, I got to put this down and rest my arms. Some of these are conversations you know about. They are, conversations about, what they're going to do about or how they're going to perform, or where are they going to perform. There's a conversation about George recording something, and about the lyrics. I mean, some of these conversations, but I think it's really important that they're now in print, because for us researchers, this is really useful information, and great to have in writing, great reference material. I mean, really. So, Maurice, good to see you, my friend. Yeah, this is great stuff. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I know there are other heavy books out there. And, no kidding. So, so that's how this is laid out. And basically, it's just kind of like that, day by day. You get, each day, and then they have excerpts from the different days of all the of transcripts. And you would think, and then sometimes they've got big photos like this. I love this picture. This moody shot of Ringo. Really neat stuff. So, so that's part one. All right. Then part two, of course, they move on to Apple Studios. So I'll skip ahead to that. Um, and it's the same format, but and it's really fun to read their conversations about Magic Alex, and you just want to say to them, "Oh my God," and that's of course at Twickenham. You just want to say, just dump Magic Alex, because you know what's going to happen, but they don't. Okay, here we go. Let's see. I'm just trying to flip to part two here. Okay, here it is. Act 2, Apple Studios. Again, I just think it's fascinating that they design this like a play, because I guess it kind of is, isn't it? So, here we go. And what's really fascinating in this section is, of course, this is where Billy Preston comes in. And you can read in the transcripts just how much Billy Preston made a difference. Because when, you read when he comes in, how excited they all are to see him and how much they respect him. It's really amazing. Yeah, yeah, Tom, I agree that, yeah, you can, you know, if you have the Niagara tapes, you can fire them up and read along with these transcripts. Now, again, not everything is in here, or would be double or triple the length, and I would really have trouble lifting it. But it'll be great to, as I said, this is just great stuff to have. I mean, it really is. Um, and it's really great how they've laid out these pictures. So here's more of how they've laid out, and then you get so you get these little shots of them working, and then accompanied by the transcripts. So this is just invaluable research, um, and the pictures are just doesn't get any better than that, folks. Look at that. Just some great shots of them working in the studio. Um, Great stuff with Heather coming in. You read the transcript of her, interacting with the guys and them teasing her and, very affectionately and playing with her. There's great stuff there. Can't wait to see that on the screen. But it's very charming to read in the transcript. Um, yeah, yeah, right, Tom. You'll get to see everything. Yeah, the lovely green carpet. You mean like this, Tom? Like like this green carpet? Saying the lovely green carpet in Apple Studios. Yep, we'll be able to see this in even more vivid color, right? There you go. Okay, and then of course, part 3, act 3, I'm sorry, I should say, is the rooftop. And whoops, my headphones are falling off. And of course, they have everything you could possibly want about that. Let me flip to that. Sorry, folks, I just got this today, as I mentioned, so I'm still going through it, so I don't have all the pages memorized. Here we go. So here's Act 3, the rooftop. There it is, the big picture, and they go through the whole. Well, I mean, the transcript is really, just them talking about it. It's actually pretty amusing to read the transcripts with the policeman. that's pretty funny. It's fun to read. So actually, in this case, because it's the music that's the star here, right? But the pictures are really cool to see. But I'm looking more forward to seeing this. But the pictures are great to have. So really, here the transcripts aren't as good as just seeing these wonderful shots. Um, and what wonderful shots they are! Look at that. Full page, nice close-ups. It's a great one of John and Paul looking at each other. Nice stuff. Yeah, let me straighten that out. There we go. Yeah, just really great pictures. Yeah, really looking forward, as I think we all are, to seeing. And here's some nice. Now I think this shot is nothing new here. Sorry about that glare, folks. But great to have it in a nice reproduction here. So, and of course, a shot looking down from the rooftop. Nice change of perspective there of all the people looking up saying, what the heck is this? Am I hearing what I think I'm hearing? I think any of us would have loved to have been there that day. And then these are some screenshots from the day of the policeman and trying to figure out what to do. Should they come into the building? And, great stuff. and interviews with people on the street. So great stuff there. And a lot of this is in transcript. The interviews with people on the street are part of the transcripts. This is a great shot. Kind of a different perspective. Let's see. There we go. Behind. Ringo's raincoat is unmistakable there. You don't see that perspective that often. So just some really wonderful shots. So, just terrific, pictures of a historic moment. And then you do see some shots of them after the concert, going back into the studio, listening to the playback, looking pretty pleased with themselves. And, they, of course, did some touch ups. But I love the looks on their faces, like, they did something naughty, but they also did something great. So, and they talk about it in this transcript. So, good stuff. Good stuff. Hi, Gary. Hello. I'm sorry. I'm just catching up on these comments here. Yes, Gary. There are some great shots of Paul and Linda. I didn't want to show every single thing in here because I want you guys to see it. So that's the general construction of the book, and again, I just think that's really kind of neat that they that they arranged it, organized it like a play. And then, as I mentioned, then there's the afterword, what happens next, and well, we all know what happened next, right? About the saga of the Let It Be tapes, Phil Spector, blah blah blah. So, but good to have the concluding chapter. Now, I know what you're all thinking. Kit, what about those lobby cards? Well, they are a lot better than I expected, which is another reason why I strongly recommend this Target edition. They are a lot nicer than I expected them to be. So let me show you those. So you flip to the back of the book, and they come in this pouch, and they're sealed by this fun Apple sticker here, right there. Okay, so I thought that was kind of neat. So you open that up. Let me open this up again very carefully so I don't ruin the sticker. Here we go. Pull these out. So here they are. They're a lot bigger than I thought they'd be, and they're on a kind of heavy cardboard, so they're very well made. Reproductions obviously, but well done. One for each of them. So here's John. I mean, these are like frameable. I'm impressed. So hello, Joe. Good to see you. So here's John. Very nicely done. Okay, here Paul's coming up. No pun intended. Well, maybe a little. Here we go. There's Paul. Right. Here's George. Nice shot of George there. And again, very, nice heavyweight paper. And last but not least, Ringo. Though I don't know why they should pick that shot of Ringo. He looks a little unhappy there. Very, very intense. But those are the 4 lobby cards. There's nothing on the back, just plain on the back. But very nicely done. Very, as I said, heavier quality and bigger than I thought they'd be. So I'm very pleased. I really much higher quality than I expected. I mean, as I said, you could frame these. So I highly recommend, if you can, to get the Target edition, because do you absolutely need these? No. but it's a really nice keepsake to have. And so if you can, I would definitely suggest it, and it's no more expensive than the Amazon version. So if you can get it, I recommend it. These are extremely nice. So that is the book. I I have to sit down and really thoroughly read it. But from what I've seen so far, I think this is a highly, sorry, I'm trying to put these back in. Um, this is going to be very, very useful as a reference tool because now we've got these transcripts, some of them in print. I mean, this is great to have. The photos are gorgeous. They really are. Um, is this brand new information? No. But it's still good to have. This is going to be a nice companion to the film. So, you know, really beautifully done. I'm very impressed. All right, let me look at some comments. Let's see. Yeah, they're really yeah, those cards are really nice. Yeah, you could definitely Tony frame these. I mean, as I said, they're just really beautiful quality, for sure. Um, so I'm very happy with this book. I recommend it wholeheartedly. I'm not just saying that because I'm a Beatles fan. I really mean it. This is extremely high quality, worth every penny. The transcripts are fascinating to read. Maybe not all the time, unless you're fascinated to know what kind of sandwiches they order. I even include that at times. Very interesting to read Yoko's part. I can kind of see now why there was, the discomfort with her there, not just because she was John's girlfriend and all, but, some of the jokes that the Beatles had. I mean, they were in jokes, and some of them were kind of juvenile, I mean, they were, um, a lot of kind of, you know, high school kind of humor and all. And so to have a woman in there definitely changed the dynamic. And I think they felt, that they couldn't be themselves and it wasn't like the good old boys club anymore, And you could tell reading these transcripts how that changed. I mean, things like that give you just a greater insight into what's going on with these sessions. And you definitely can tell that they weren't at each other's throats all the time, but that they were experiencing issues that ultimately did lead to their breakup. So that there were tensions there, but there were also times when they were collaborating. You can read it in these transcripts. So just fascinating stuff. So I really think you will enjoy this. And so I just thought I'd give you that little sneak preview of the book. I hope you enjoyed it. The latest show of Talk More Talk will be up very soon. I just need to do some editing and get that up. So that should be up very soon. So just check my Facebook page and the Talk More Talk page for notices on when that'll be up. Our next episode, which will be, let me double check the calendar, which will be October 25th, will be on the Let It Be box set. Surprise, surprise. So we're really looking forward to digging in to the box set and finding out what's in there. Just really excited about it. So don't miss that. It'll be a fun episode to do. And so, hi, John. Good to see you. And thank you. I appreciate it. Well, a couple of people suggested that I do a little preview and kind of an unboxing, as it were. So I thought, why not? It's a great book. I've been enjoying it. So I thought, let's do it. So that's so that I hope you enjoyed this, and I will definitely be seeing you guys soon. As I said, just look out on our Talk More Talk page for information on when Monday night's episode is up on YouTube and any podcasting platforms you can think of. We're pretty much everywhere. And we will see you on October 25th for our next episode. Until then, thanks for tuning in. And as Ringo says, peace and love. See you soon. Bye-bye.